This video is going to show you how to configure PMIS for dual coding for ICD-10 and to also allow you to control which format files are used for printing HCFAs, UB04s, and setting the electronic claim defaults. You will want to make sure that you write down the current values of the fields as we begin to edit them. You're going to need this in case you need to revert back to the previous version of the forms. We're going to start by selecting the insurance form format for the HCFA 1500 form. To do that, there's a couple steps involved. We're going to click on Utilities, Edit Parameter Files, and Edit Insurance Forms file. Once we're in this browse window, we need to find the field I_P1500L, which is where we define which version of the form we're going to use. So I'm scrolling to the left, and there's the field. Write down the current value that's in that field. That is the current version of the HCFA 1500 form that you are using. To make it the new version, you're going to change that to I_P1514L. There's one more field that is crucial in this file, and this field is called the ICD-DEF, which is the ICD default field. This field will tell PMIS what to put on the claim for dual coding for charges. And so it's the last field all the way on the right. So if I scroll to the right, I will see it. You probably have a 9 in there right now. A 9 means to put ICD-9s on the claims, and that's what you're going to want to take place until we get closer to the transition date. When we decide to have the system put ICD-10s in the electronic claim files and on the forms, you will change the 9 to a 0. When you have a 0 in this field, PMIS will take the ICD-10s that you have selected and put them on the claims. If you have a 9 in this field and have been dual coding, which means you have been selecting ICD-10s for your charges, when it sees the 9 in this field, it will downcode the diagnosis to an ICD-9 automatically. That way you can get used to selecting ICD-10s before the transition date. After you have made the changes that you need, at this point you'll hit Control-W to save and exit. It's going to save the changes and take you out of PMIS. The next file we're going to edit is the parameter file. If I go to Utilities, Edit Parameter Files, and select Edit PRM File, that is the main parameter file. I'm going to make a change to the HCFA 1500 form, so I need to go to the field PRM_1500. So I'm going to look for that, and here it is. When you look at this in your file, you probably only have one line. This file has 2 lines, and I want you to write down the value that's in this field. It is probably I_P1501.SPR. That's the old version of the HCFA form. When we want to print the new version of the HCFA form, we're going to change that to I_P1514L.SPR. So write down your old version, and then if you're going to change it to the new version, change it to I_P1514L.SPR. If you print UB04 forms, that's the next field we're going to change, and that's PRM_UB92. Again, that's PRM_UB92. So I'm going to scroll to the left, And there's the field PRM underscore UB92. The value that you probably have in there right now is I underscore PUB04.SPR. For the new version of the UB04, you're going to want to change that to I underscore PUB044.SPR. For the new version of electronic claims for the HCFA 1500 forms, you want to go to the field that's defined as PRM underscore FAC2. And what you will see in that field for the existing version is probably I underscore P1500.SPR. To change this to the new version that will be ICD-10 compliant, you will want to change that to I underscore P1514.SPR. When you make this change, it's going to start creating electronic claims with the new format. You're going to need to send a test file to the clearinghouse once you've made this change. So you will want to coordinate with them, and you may want to flip it back and forth until you get them to have this mapped correctly. The UB04 electronic claims is in the menu, and it's hard-coded in the menu. It doesn't require that you make any changes to the parameter files. It's going to use the ICD default field that was in the insurance forms file to tell it what to do. So if it sees that you have switched to ICD-10, it's going to generate ICD-10 formatted electronic claims. That's the demonstration on how to change the defaults for the current code sets in PMIS. If you have any questions, please send me an email at sales@pearlcomputer.com. You can also do that by going to Help in PMIS and just clicking on Email Support. Thank you very much.